scary stories to fall asleep to. The house that collected spirits. At 19, you thought moving into your family's old house would be temporary. You were wrong. The first night you heard someone whisper your name from the hallway. You opened the door. Nobody was there. Then a woman appeared at the end of the hall. She looked terrified. Before disappearing, she whispered, "Don't let him know you're awake." After that, the spirits came every night. A little boy sitting on the stairs. An old man staring through the kitchen window. A woman crying silently in the bathroom mirror. They never attacked you. They were warning you. One night, you finally asked them what they were afraid of. Every spirit turned toward the basement. Then the basement door slowly opened. Something stepped into the hallway. It was tall enough to nearly touch the ceiling. Its skin looked unnaturally pale, its eyes completely black. It smiled at you. Then it said, "Your family has been living in my house." You ran upstairs and woke everyone, but when you returned to the hallway, the demon was gone. The spirits were gone too. Then every light in the house turned off. A voice came from downstairs. "One family came before you." A pause. They didn't leave. Your family gathered together as footsteps slowly climbed the stairs. One step, then another, then another. The footsteps stopped outside your bedroom. Silence. Suddenly, every spirit in the house appeared behind you. They weren't looking at the demon. They were looking at you. The old woman whispered, "We're sorry." You asked why. She pointed toward the basement. "Because we're not trapped here with him." The basement door slowly opened. "He's trapped here with us." Then something enormous began crawling up the stairs, and every spirit in the house started screaming. The man who walked before history, long before cities had names, before kings ruled kingdoms. There was a man who belonged to no tribe. He appeared only after sunset. Hunters would disappear from their camps. Travelers would vanish from ancient roads. And by morning, only their belongings remained. The tribes began calling him the Night Walker. At first they believed he killed because he was angry. They were wrong. He killed because he enjoyed it. Every night, his hunger for murder grew stronger. But eventually he discovered something that changed him forever. He didn't just crave blood, he craved the flesh of his victims. He began treating his hunts as a ritual. He would follow travelers for miles without making a sound. Then, when the fires went out, he would strike. Years passed. His legend had spread across the ancient world. Entire villages refused to travel after dark. Parents warned their children, "If you hear footsteps behind you, don't turn around." Because the Nightwalker never stopped following. Then one winter, a group of hunters finally tracked him. They followed his footprints deep into a cave. Inside, they found hundreds of markings covering the walls. Every marking represented someone he had hunted. Some were so old they had almost disappeared, but the newest one was still wet with fresh paint. It showed the hunters standing outside the cave. They froze. The Nightwalker had been watching them the entire time. A voice came from the darkness behind them. "You came looking for me." The torches suddenly went out. No one ever saw those hunters again. Thousands of years passed. Civilization rose. Civilizations disappeared. The cave was eventually buried beneath the earth. But archaeologists recently uncovered it. Inside they found the ancient markings. And one final discovery terrified them. The newest symbol wasn't thousands of years old. It was carved recently. Beneath it were 5 words. "I am still hungry." The man who drew the end. Everyone thought he was insane. He lived alone in an abandoned observatory, covering every wall with maps, blueprints, symbols, and thousands of handwritten notes connected by red string. Police searched the place dozens of times. They found no weapons, no explosives, nothing illegal, just pages repeating the same sentence. "The world destroys itself. I only show it how." People laughed, until the blackouts began. For exactly 1 minute each month, every light on Earth went out. Satellites failed. Phones died. No one knew why. Then another note appeared online. Phase 2 complete. Government searched for him. They found the observatory empty. Only a chair still rocking, as if someone had just stood up. Months passed. Strange things began happening. Ships changed course for no reason. Airplanes reported impossible signals. Animals fled cities all at once. The world felt like it was following instructions no one else could hear. Then one night, every television, phone, and billboard displayed the same live video. The man sat smiling in complete silence. Behind him, thousands of clocks, each ticking at a different speed. He finally spoke. "You're looking for the machine." He laughed. "You are the machine." The screen went black. Your phone vibrates. A new calendar event has appeared. Tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. No title, no sender, just one attachment. A photo of your bedroom, taken from the corner of the room, while you're reading it. The village that shouldn't exist. The first village was discovered deep in a frozen mountain valley. No roads, no maps, no signs that anyone had lived there. Yet smoke still rose from the chimneys. The people were unlike anything ever recorded. They moved with impossible speed, never making a sound. They wore dark fur, carved bone masks, and ancient armor. Their axes were as sharp as razors, but they fought like shadows. Soldiers called them the Silent Clan. The first expedition of 80 people entered the village. Only one returned. His beard had turned completely white. He whispered only one sentence: "They don't kill you, they recruit you." No one believed him, until videos began appearing from across the world. A fisherman vanished in Norway. Days later, he was seen leading attacks in Scotland. A hiker disappeared in Canada. Weeks later, he was wearing one of their bone masks in Alaska. Entire villages went silent overnight. Not because everyone was dead, because everyone had joined them. The Silent Clan never rushed. They moved from country to country like a slow winter. Every victory made them larger. Every person they captured became another silent warrior. Then one night, every emergency broadcast on Earth interrupted at the exact same moment. The screen showed thousands of masked figures standing, shoulder to shoulder on a frozen coastline. None of them moved. Then one by one, they all turned toward the camera. The tallest one removed his bone mask. Underneath was the face of someone reported missing years ago. He smiled. "We're finally on every continent." Your phone vibrates. A weather alert appears. Heavy footsteps detected outside. You peek through your window. Your entire street is covered in fresh snow, except for a single trail of footprints. They don't lead away from your house. They end at your front door. The forest of 50 graves. Everyone knew not to enter Blackwood Forest after sunset. Not because of ghosts, because of one man. For over 30 years, hikers disappeared without a trace. Campers, hunters, photographers. Search teams found abandoned tents, but never the people. Police searched the forest hundreds of times. Nothing. Then, after a violent storm, the ground began to collapse. One by one, shallow graves surfaced from the mud. Not one, not 10. Overwusher, each marked with a small wooden cross carved by hand. Every victim had vanished years apart, yet each grave looked freshly dug. The man was finally caught. He never denied it. He simply smiled and said, "You're counting the wrong graves." Investigators searched the forest again. They found exactly 50 points. Satisfied, they locked him away forever. Months later, a park ranger reported hearing someone digging every night. Authorities assumed it was an animal, until fresh piles of dirt began appearing beside hiking trails. They arrested no one. The killer was still behind bars. Curiosity gets the better of you. You hike into Blackwood Forest alone. At first everything is quiet. Then you notice dozens of wooden crosses between the trees. You count them. 48, 49, 50. Then a few steps ahead, a freshly carved cross with your name on it. You freeze. Behind you. A shovel scrapes against the dirt. A familiar voice whispers. I told them they counted wrong. I was stranded at sea, and something was watching me. I am 28 years old, and I thought a solo sailing trip would clear my mind. The weather was perfect, until it wasn't. A storm came out of nowhere. Waves taller than buildings slammed into my boat. The mast snapped. My radio died. When the storm finally passed, there was no land, no ships, no birds, just an endless black ocean. The first night I heard splashing around my boat. I assumed it was dolphins. Then one of them surfaced. It wasn't a dolphin. It had a body longer than my boat, pale gray skin, and 6 glowing eyes. It stared at me without making a sound, then slowly sank beneath the water. The next morning, strange handprints covered the outside of my boat. They weren't human. Each one had 7 long fingers. That night, I woke to someone knocking on the hull. Knock, knock, knock. Then a woman's voice drifted across the water. Help me. I grabbed my flashlight. There was a woman floating beside my boat. She looked exactly like me. Same face, same clothes, same terrified expression. She smiled. Her mouth split open far past her ears. Rows of needle-like teeth filled the darkness. She whispered, "Come closer." I stumbled backward. The boat suddenly lurched. Dozens of enormous shapes circled beneath me. Their glowing eyes lit up the ocean like stars beneath the surface. Then they all began rising, one by one, not swimming, standing. The water was somehow shallow enough for them to walk. Their heads disappeared into the fog above. One reached toward my boat. Its fingers were longer than the mast had been. My emergency beacon finally activated. Hours later, a rescue helicopter found me drifting alone. They said I was the only thing for miles. But when they pulled me aboard, the pilot stared at the ocean below and went completely silent. I looked down. Thousands of glowing eyes were following the helicopter. Not from the water, from far below it, as if the ocean itself had opened, and something unimaginably huge was looking back.